Code's scar on his eye is more important than many believe. It might be as significant as Boruto's scar, if not more so. This scar could be related to preventing a power from manifesting in Code because of the Otsutsukification. This might be closely tied to Isshiki's shinjutsu, which is expected to appear on that side, as we have seen with Kawaki, if Code manages to find a good chakra source. Alternatively, the scar might be related to preparing Code for a reincarnation process, initiated by either Boruto or Momoshiki. Essentially, one of them might want to use Code for reincarnation to get rid of either Boruto or Momoshiki, depending on who is planning the reincarnation. And the Jogan might even play a part in this, so if one of them, that is either Boruto or Momoshiki, plans to reincarnate somehow, and knows that an Otsutsuki, for example, may lose their own powers by using a karma on someone with a fully developed karma already, it could disrupt the override system. In this case, either the Jogan, which is confirmed to be an Otsutsuki power, or Isshiki's shinjutsu might vanish. So one of them might be trying to prevent this while preparing for reincarnation. You see, it all boils down to either prevention or preparation. This might now first sound complex, but let me delve deeper to clarify, then everyone will understand. Kishimoto seems to be drawing a clear parallel to Boruto's eye. In Boruto's case, for years the scar has been a major mystery in the series. It's closely tied to the mysterious Jogan, so the scar on Boruto's eye has a huge plot implication. Fans have been anticipating the time skip to uncover this mystery, and then after the time skip, suddenly Code also got a similar scar. Though on the opposite side, the symbolism here is hard to miss. It's like looking in a mirror. The similarities are also very evident. Both have the powers of Otsutsukis, while both are also limited in its access in some way, and both also need the other to theoretically fully gain unrestricted access to their powers. Code needs to feed Boruto to the 10-tailed beast in order to become a full-fledged Otsutsuki, and Boruto, although already an Otsutsuki, found another reason why he has to reincarnate inside his body. Maybe to get rid of Momoshiki and with that gain all the powers he inherited from him, but maybe also to get rid of Code at the same time, who is a serious threat once he uses his brain and understands that he theoretically should already be able to breathe in space, for example, and with that harvest other planets first. I don't think that particular ability should be restricted for him. It doesn't seem like Code is lacking the general access to his Otsutsuki DNA, but rather the specific powers of Isshiki that Kawaki currently uses. So Code is theoretically a serious threat, and the only thing that truly hinders him from becoming stronger at the moment is his greed for revenging Isshiki. He tries to access his power only through either Boruto or Kawaki, those who killed Isshiki. Really arrogant and stupid. So in general, there are a few possibilities how we can explain the scar. Let's start quickly establishing the obvious ones and then we make it a bit more complicated. The first possibility is that either Boruto or Momoshiki did this because Code made fun of the scar, so they gave him one as well. Would be pretty badass, but wouldn't really have a plot. Still possible though. Then there's the idea that Boruto still plans to use Code for his reincarnation, but for some reason it was necessary to cut one of his eyes, so that he can make sure that his own eye with a Jogan manifests once he puts his karma on Code. I will mention the most likely reason in a few seconds. Alternatively, Momoshiki might have more or less the same reason but slightly different. Perhaps Momoshiki knows something, like some kind of secret Otsutsuki knowledge that could help him take control during the next reincarnation. So he wanted to ensure to take the Jogan with him when reincarnating inside Code, using Boruto. Because we don't really know what happens if two Otsutsuki karma DNAs try to override the vessel at the same time. The Jogan is most likely simply more powerful, and from what we know, the Jogan is probably a shinjutsu since Momoshiki clearly called it an Otsutsuki power. So the idea is that there might be complications when trying to reincarnate in a body that already has Otsutsuki DNA, when it comes to genetically innate shinjutsus. Even though it might be possible, some abilities could get lost during the process, it might be random, but by injuring the eye where the shinjutsu is expected to manifest, they might be able to make sure that the Jogan is the one to manifest instead. Theoretically, both Boruto and Momoshiki could benefit from this, so in this case we can determine who initiated the scar and with it plans to reincarnate. Maybe it's even a mix of both. That is, Boruto plans to reincarnate to get rid of Momoshiki, and Momoshiki manipulates things in the background. He simply took over Boruto's body and gave Code the scar without explaining why, just as he did with Sasuke. If Boruto and Momoshiki aren't working together on this, then such knowledge is likely exclusive to Momoshiki unless for some reason Boruto and Sasuke have freed Kaguya, who then told him everything they need to know. If this isn't the case, such insight, unless deduced by big brain Sasuke, could only come from someone like Momoshiki, but it's doubtful he would share this with Boruto unless he had intentions to manipulate him. In any case, this could once again suggest that Momoshiki plans to use Code to reincarnate himself. He will do this by taking over Code's body and also using Boruto's DNA, completing his original reincarnation and erasing both Boruto and Code while gaining the powers of the Jogan. Keep in mind that when Momoshiki attempted to reincarnate through Boruto, he seemed to be interested in the Jogan mainly. However, if his DNA were to fully override Boruto's, then the Jogan might disappear, so it's unclear whether he was actually planning all this just to gain the power of the Jogan, or whether it was really his last resort. We have to remember that Momoshiki didn't act like he would be trapped forever. For someone so confident, it's hard to think he didn't have a backup plan, especially with his ability to see the future. So Momoshiki's behavior seems inconsistent, hinting at a hidden agenda. He literally must have known that Boruto could possibly die. We must always remember that Momoshiki can see the future, so nothing is really a big surprise for him, depending on how his power really works. It could all be an act so Boruto doesn't notice his true plan. Or perhaps Momoshiki saw something in Code that no one else noticed, identifying him as a serious threat. From what we understand, Code is a vessel, yet for some reason, he seems to be in a transitional state. Having received the karma from Isshiki, Code should also carry Isshiki's genetic traits, even though Kawaki obtained Isshiki's powers first. This isn't beyond reason, it's just a straightforward DNA override. Nowhere is it stated that because Kawaki manifested the power first, it will alter or erase the already overwritten DNA in Code. Why would that be the case? It makes no sense. Code is unique in this aspect, making him an exception to any assumptions or rules we might have in that regard. Although the white karma might not be enough for Isshiki to fully reincarnate in Code, even if Code acquires enough chakra to activate that power, but it might be enough to fully awaken the Otsutsuki powers that Isshiki possessed. So, since Kawaki got Isshiki's power on the left side, where his karma marks are, both Momoshiki and Boruto could assume the same for Code. If Code will somehow learn to activate his karma and thereby Isshiki's shinjutsu, he might now be unable to use it due to his damaged eye. That is, unless it works like Boruto's Jogan, which I highly doubt. Or maybe it's already too late and Code activated his powers. In that case, they simply removed the shinjutsu. Another thing to mention is that despite the idea that Isshiki shouldn't be able to return, as mentioned earlier, it's intriguing that Isshiki, just before vanishing completely, felt compelled to urge Code to become a true Otsutsuki himself. This hints that he believes there's still a chance for him to reincarnate through Code, though he keeps this a secret. It doesn't fit his character, or any Otsutsuki for that matter, to show concern for anyone but themselves. It simply doesn't align with their nature or that of most villains. This inconsistency might be because Isshiki believes he can benefit from whatever Code will do in the future. If that's the case, then the side of the eye is incorrect. Isshiki himself doesn't use the eye on the opposite side. One might also argue that since Kawaki manifested the eye on one side, the shinjutsu could only appear in another individual on the opposite side. The best way to ensure this is to eliminate any interference from the incorrect eye. Given this, Code himself might have deduced this link and inflicted the scar on his own eye, realizing it's the only way for him to make sure that he will definitely manifest Isshiki's shinjutsu on the other eye. That should cover all possibilities. I might have missed some, so if you notice any, please share them in the comments. So what do you think of this theory? Let me know in the comments, and if you want to see more Boruto content, then subscribe to this channel with the notification bell activated. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.